Hey fam. Hello, how are you doing? If it is Wednesday, it is Wine Lovers Wednesday, and I am excited to be back with you a second week in a row. I am super delighted to speak with Camilla today from Ebony Wines.
Hi.
And she is out of North Carolina. So if we have anybody who's following us from North Carolina, do a special shout out for your homegirl here.
Hey.
Um, and then I know just about every Black person got a family in North Carolina. So a shout out, tell your family to tune in and meet
Please
her
do.
because you will want to drive to the Queen City. You're in the Queen City, right?
Yes, we're in Charlotte.
To come and meet her and try her wines.
Yes,
So
yes.
please, without any further ado, introduce yourself, Camilla, and tell people who you are and your fabulous.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm so delighted to be here with you this evening. My name is Camillya Masunda, and I am the founder and CEO of Ebony Wine and Spirits. We are based in Charlotte, North Carolina. Our mission is to celebrate Black unity and culture around the globe, around the world, in its pure essence, in its pure form of the diversity of who we are and everything that we bring to this world, this beautiful space. And yeah, I'm just so excited and delighted to be here. Uh, Ebony Wine and Spirits is birthed out of love, out of joy, out of peace. And just out of individuality, right? Being comfortable in our own skin, being comfortable enough to celebrate who we are within our own skin. So, yeah, that's the spiel. And I'm just excited and delighted to be here with you. So, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask wherever you are in this world on this beautiful Wind Down Wednesday.
Well, so I was noticing, I was doing a little research. Some people would call it trolling, but I call it research. You are a serial entrepreneur.
I am. I am a serial entrepreneur.
And you started in your early 20s, right?
Yes, I started my first business in my early 20s while I was still in college. My first business with my daughter. We own a spa for kids in North Carolina. It's called Moscato Diva Kids Spa, where we pamper and have a great party pampering time at our spa here. It's in North Carolina. It's like about 20-30 minutes outside of Charlotte. It's in Monroe. It was a way for me to grow and just learn and love business, but more so building that relationship with my daughter and nurturing it in something that me and her both loved to do when she was very young.
I was going to say because your daughter's like in college now, right?
She's 19. She's in her going into her sophomore year in college. So it's exciting. I get a little exhausted. I'm a college mom now. So you would think it's less work, but I feel like it's more work
Mhm.
actually.
Mhm.
But
That
I absolutely love it. At this point, my niece, who always worked with us at our kids spa, she's up in the ownership seat, so she is going into her freshman year in high school. But as like my nieces matriculate, we just continue to pass the business on so that they have, just a strong foundation when it comes to a sense of business understanding, just corporations and industry, and learning to have that entrepreneurship background.
that is amazing.
Thank you so much.
That is I, I'm speechless. And okay, I realize that this is a wine show and we are going to talk about the wine.
But isn't wine like? But what I love about wine, right? We can talk about wine, but the people behind, yeah, we have a life too. Like we can talk all day. I can tell you about the notes and the varietals and the pairings and everything about that, right? But I think what's so different about Ebony Wine and Spirits is that we bring the personality and the life and the love into wine, which makes it just not me saying, here, buy this amazing wine, minted bottle sourced in Napa. We can do that all day, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I want you to know the people again behind the wine, the vision, because I think when you do that, you end up feeling like you become a part of a brand or a company or a business. Like the businesses that I fall in love with mostly are the ones that I know about, that I feel like, oh, these,
Mm-hmm.
this company has so much in common with me and my lifestyle and the things that I value. So I think that that's more important to me than just pushing, our products, our wine and our services on you.
I completely agree. And the fact that you started this business, you started another business early on with your daughter. You eventually, and we're going to get into your wine story, which I think a lot of people, a lot of minorities who are in the wine space had that same need, that same searching that you had. But the fact that you started it, and one of the tenets of the principles of you starting it was to build legacy, was to be able to have those conversations at the dinner table, in the car, about business, about financial responsibility, about establishing wealth and not just having money. I think that is great. And you talk to that. You talk to that in your wine. So your wine is not just celebrating a fabulously made wine, but it is also celebrating our culture and sharing that with people and building wealth through that process there.
Exactly, 100%. With even again being a serial entrepreneur, of course I own Ebony Wine and Spirits. I'm the founder and CEO, but I also founded a school. So we have a child development center, the first Afrocentric child development center here in Charlotte, which is a big deal for us because you would call it a daycare or a child development center. It's from 0 to 6 weeks to 12 years, but it's so much more. So I work with youth all day, every day for the most part. Outside of wine, that's what I do. And it's so important to me because this is how you invest, this is how you give back. This is what's called mentorship. And I'll just share this one moment with you. I was at, because I also have like a nonprofit where we have a camp. um, and one of my kids told me, Miss Camille, I looked you up online. I know about you. I know about Ebony Wine and Spirits. I know about what you do. And I know about you're a businesswoman. Like her name was Treasure. And it was just such an aha moment, because you have to understand, if a child comes from a certain background, what they see in representation, it matters so much. It matters so much because it gives them hope. If they see, hey, oh, Miss Camille was speaking here, Miss Camille does this and that, wow, what do I really want to do? What are the possibilities of everything that I can do with my life? I know for me, growing up with my mom, seeing her, work multiple jobs and seeing her, strive and, for everything that she has, that was my inspiration, in believing that, hey, it's absolutely nothing that I can't have. And so by being a mother, I had my daughter when I was 15. So being a young mother, I really took all of that, of what I saw in a sense of representation
Mm-hmm.
of Black women, and being able to say, you know what, I can still do everything that I want to do. I can still be educated. I can still start businesses, join sororities, whatever I want to do. There's absolutely nothing that I can't do. But that was all because of representation. And so whether it be representation in wine, whether it be representation in entrepreneurship, whatever it is, our youth have to see it. Because if you can't see, if you have nothing to dream about, or if you have no one to look up to and say, wow, this is possible, then hey, what happens then? Then what do I have to believe in? And so for me, working with youth, pushing entrepreneurship, pushing math, science, all these things. Yes, wine is so important to me because that is my place where I'm able to develop things, but I'm able to show them and teach them what the possibility lies in whatever they want to do.
So that is a perfect segue to how you developed Ebony Wine, because it was the lack of representation that you
Exactly.
were searching for. Please share that story with everyone.
So I remember being in college, and you're hanging out with your friends and you're always somehow bringing like a bottle of wine. Of course, when you're of
Mhm.
age, and you're
Of course, yes.
and always a bottle of wine on the table, right? To the parties and or to just the kickbacks and girls' nights or whatever. And I just remember knowing absolutely not. We were, enjoying the wine, vibes and experiences, but we knew absolutely nothing about what we were drinking. And that, for me, I used to, the bottle used to sit on the table, and while we're having the talk, I would just look at the bottle and I would read the back of the bottle. And I would often be like, dang, I wonder where this, came from. And one thing that we did in college, we would always keep the bottle, right? I don't know if we were recycling or what, or why we were keeping the bottle, but we would always keep the bottle. And for me, I just started to be like, when I used to go to the stores, I'm like, I wonder where this wine came from. I wonder, that's how my mind
Mhm,
works. Like
mhm.
I'm a curious person, whether it be food, clothing, whatever it is, but wine stood out to me. And so I remember, looking up a company or Googling it, and just seeing, I just kept Googling more and more, because once you dive into the internet, you click one and then you just,
Oh, yeah, it's a
the
wormhole.
maze. You're
Mhm.
just going and going at this point. And I did not see us. Now you could really click, on the internet and put black on wines, and the rabbit hole now, it will go. We're still 1%, but it will go so deep. It will be more and more and more, right? And everybody
Mhm.
has their story. But at the time, that wasn't my experience. And I just remember wanting to know about wine, tasting different wines. And I remember my first experience going to like a tasting, and I saw, I was the only person who looked like me, and
Yes.
I was at this tasting.
Were you
And
in the Carolinas?
yeah, it was in the care. I went to school. Yeah, I went to school here first.
Okay.
I went to two different HBCUs. I went to Bennett in Greensboro, and
Uh-huh.
I graduated from Johnson C. Smith University here in Charlotte.
Oh, okay, so you
So
are a Belle, a Bennett Belle.
I will always be a Bennett Bell. My president was Janetta B. Cole at the time, so I
Oh,
will always be a Bell,
yes.
100%. And my daughter goes right across the street to A&T now.
Does she? Oh my goodness.
She
I
does,
spent
and her best friend actually goes to Bennett, so I'm just in heaven.
oh, that is nice. Yeah, I spent a few uh times at A&T during a long time ago when they had Aggie Fest.
Oh, they still
Um,
have it.
oh, they still have it? Okay. Yes. Yes.
My daughter would say yes, they still have it. But yeah, so they do. I remember going to this wine tasting thing. And I just found it, like I just had like saw it like online or something, and I couldn't get anybody to go with me. Um and they set everything up in front of you, and at this time I didn't know much about wine, even though I thought I did. And they were, sniffing and swirling, um and they were, tasting, and they were spitting the wine out. And
Mhm.
I'd never
You're like
spit.
scandalous.
Yeah, I'd never spit my wine out. Never. Like
Mhm.
the whole time I was just like steady drinking my wine, watching them
Mhm.
spit it out. But then I was just like, I was so intrigued, not intimidated, but more so
Right.
intrigued, because I
Mhm.
just didn't know why they were spitting the wine out at
Yeah.
the time. um and from that's when the interest, it really grew. I remember going to my first vineyard. just being in like a whole heaven. Of course, people didn't look like me there. And,
Mhm.
at the time, again, I went by myself. And this was in, I think this was near Winston-Salem at the time,
Okay.
vineyard. And even then, I just got more and more just excited and intrigued. I started to write down different things. I started to take down notes and different things like that. And I remember asking some of the guys in the vineyard, like, so how can somebody start their own wine? Like, what would they do?
Mhm.
They had like a little bit of answers here and there, and I started to have to, and I don't even know why at the time I was asking, but something in my heart was just telling me, like, you should, like, this is good, like, you should, excuse me, totally do this, like, you need to learn some
Mhm.
stuff and you need to do this. And at the time I'm just like, I know this takes all type of money. I know, I was not discouraged, but I was just like, how am I going to do this? How am I going,
Right.
if I wanted to, how would I even pull this off? And so the more that I researched, years start going by. I started to call vineyards, started to visit more vineyards. At this time, I'm graduating now, and I, start traveling to places like Napa. Started to go in, Virginia, just different places that Texas,
Mhm.
different places that had wine. And I finally found a vineyard who would talk on the phone to me, who would listen to me, and who I told them my idea.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't like barbaric, it wasn't like out of reach. They made it seem very, doable.
Right.
So they sent me samples of just different wines. And so I was just like, well, what if I want a wine that's like only my wine? What if I want a wine that has like different blends and different things like that? And they told me that, that's doable. We can do that. How about you come visit? And at the time, this was probably 2017, 2018. And I remember going to the vineyard, and
Mhm.
because it's a different experience when you're really not just going to the vineyard, right, but like actually being where the grapes are and the harvest and the barrels and the really learning about
Yes.
fermentation and just different things. Um so it was a small vineyard, it was very
Mhm.
small. It was in Napa. But they took their time out to just talk to me and, break things down, because it did have to be,
Yes.
regardless of what,
It's a lot.
yeah. And the number still had to be broken down
Mhm.
when it came to what I wanted to do. And so, of course, I prayed on it, meditated about it. Um, and I think that following, yeah, because when the pandemic happened, 2020 or 2021.
2020
Okay.
and
So,
2021
right.
and 2022.
Yes, exactly. So, pretty much 2019, girl, I have been working, I have been saving, I have been working and I have been saving. I have been taking my notes, talking to sommeliers and doing
Mhm.
all of this work. And I had like what was so great about it is it was something that I could like invest into, pay on, because I have other businesses, but I was just like, okay, well, I was saving, and I was figuring it out, because that's what we do, right? That's Black women. That's
Right.
what we do. We're gonna figure, if
Mhm.
we want to do something, we're gonna find a way.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so they started working on my. We started working on my wine. I think end of 2018, all of 2019, and we were supposed to launch in 2020. I was supposed to launch, like I was supposed to have this big launch event. Like I had, like everything was done, social media handles was up, like everything. And I would just remember like um being at our daycare, and I remember like on the news when they were talking about like they're about to shut everything down. And it was really it was unreal, because you
Oh
thought
yeah.
it was a movie. But yeah, they were like, no, like I remember when daycares completely at one point had to shut down. And so when we did that, I was just like, oh my God, how am I going to launch? Like and I worked hard, I did the groundwork. We
Mhm.
have the wine now. I invested, this all like the savings. Like I've done all my work, right? And now it is no, like you can't, like it's no launch. We're not gathering at this point. And so after crying and being sad and not knowing what I was going to do, my daughter was like, Mom, we should just do it anyway. We just should launch online, and we should just like, like we can, you can still, like, you have a company that you're working with, you can sell online. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to sell online. I want to have a launch. I want to do all these things.
So hold on. Do you mind if I interrupt you for a second?
No, come on.
So did you have a tasting room that you were opening up?
So, that's a whole nother story. So
I'm envisioning the launch. Right?
Oh, so the launch? No, I had an event at the time. I didn't have a venue at the time. So remember, I'm working with the vineyard in Napa, and the warehouses are all there. So I didn't have to do I didn't have to store. Yeah, I was good. But I had a venue, like a big, it was going to be really, really nice. Like, I had been planning it because I had the whole time to just, I'm working on the wine. I was working on a launch. So I had all this, people invited. I had press invited. It was going to be a big thing. And they just were like, everything, most people, obviously everybody went through it, but it just shut down out of nowhere. And so I'm just left here. Like I said, I was sad. I was crying. But my daughter stepped in, and it was the best thing that she ever, the best thing that I've ever listened to was to her when she was like, Mom, we're still going to launch. We're just going to have to launch and be creative. And we're going to have to do this like online. Like, that's what we're going to do. Like, we're going to have to, she became my creative director.
At 18.
Was she 18?
Or was she 17 then?
She was 17.
Okay.
My baby was 7. I think my baby was 17, about to be 18.
Okay.
And we sat down, we were all, we had already been working on like the brand and stuff like that. But I think people, I don't know if sometimes people underestimate the younger generation because they know, I mean, she knows so much digitally, stuff that I didn't know and stuff that I didn't know, how to do, or she might have I'm a creative as well, but she has an extremely good eye. Like, she would take pictures. She would be like, Mom, we need to, she would, at that time, I had not done any type of lives. I didn't know about Instagram Live, but she.
Oh, right.
She was the one to push me and make me get comfortable, with all of that. And so she really pushed the launch online. And when we launched online, I mean, it went one story, it did really, really great. And from that, it started. That's all we really did. We pushed the wine, but we pushed the store. Like, we just would talk to people and tell, just like I'm talking to you right now. That is when, I fell in love with people, and people fell in love with us, and they started ordering Ebony wine like wildfire. And for the most part, that's how it happened.
That's a great story. That's a great story. We could actually stop right there.
It was a long story. It was so much.
But no, we're not.
I'm summing it up, but
but I can imagine, like,
oh my God,
nights and your heart racing.
Especially when you're over the hump, because getting over the hump is like, you've done the work. Like, you created varietals that you feel everybody will love. Like, you feel like this is it. You have done the work. You worked with you have just worked so hard. And then when the pandemic came, it was like a sucker punch to the gut, because I was just like, I wasn't even at the time, everything hit, and I wasn't really just thinking. I was just like, what am I going to do now? Like, what is it to do?
So when we had the Vino 301 previously, but when we decided to open the Wine Concierge, I had a milestone birthday.
Oh,
and it was the same day as my liquor license was going to be heard virtually. I Didn't even celebrate my birthday. Like,
What?
they did like a drive-by or something, and I was like, I need to be online because we need to get this liquor license. So I understand that feeling of like, this just has to get done. Like, we have just put way too
We've
much
worked
into
so
it.
right. We've worked
Yes,
so hard. We've
yes,
worked so hard. But the thing about the wine and spirits industry, you will work hard, and then you like it's never just like done. It's always something
so
else.
yes, yes.
It's always it like that's how I feel. Like I feel so this is our second, so we're on our second year. And I still feel like an infant in the wine industry in some ways. And that's because we've done so much and we're doing so much, but at the same time, it's like it's always something to
Right,
be done. And then we live
right.
in this such a digital era where it's all like you have to always be making, you're always making content. You're always like
Yes.
finding a way to push the brand and celebrate the brand. But I know for me, the wine and spirits industry, especially wine for me, it's constantly learning. But it's things that you can only learn from experience. Like
Yeah.
this is, I really believe, like if anybody, because I get asked that a lot when people talk about getting into the wine industry, like what would you tell anybody?
I'm
What would you?
sorry.
Oh no, fine. You're fine. Um, what would you teach anyone? I'm like, this is the industry that people can tell you anything, like, but everybody's experience is different. I've met so many great people in wine, right? And I've taken their advice in certain ways, but I've also learned that their wine story is their wine story. And
Right.
that's not to be, negative, but it's not my wine story. So I can't do it like them. Like
Right.
you
Right.
have to do it, whoever it is, even if I don't know who I'm talking to, and you're thinking about getting into wine or spirits or opening a wine shop or whatever you're thinking about doing. This is the type of industry that you can really come in and charter new territories and create your own path.
Yeah, I totally agree. So which was the first wine or wines that you launched?
It would be we launched did we launch everything together? I think we did. We launched everything at the same time.
Are you serious? So what is that, like four different?
So we have 4 varietals.
Okay.
Fun fact, I had a meeting before and somebody's using our other bottles for pictures right now in the office. But these are the still wines. This is the red fusion, the ebony red fusion. It's a Bordeaux style red blend. It has 4 different blends. Rave reviews about this one. We just did a festival and we had some vineyard owners from South Africa, and they were raving about our red blend. So I do believe we by far have it's a vintage. It's a 2017. We by far have one of the top red blends. But don't take my word for it. Do not listen to me. I'm gonna let you try it. You will see.
I'm gonna put it in the comments now.
What they say?
Because you do direct to consumer, correct?
We do.
So what's the website? Ebony.
Oh, ebonywineandspirits.com. Super easy. And we're gonna do a giveaway. So I don't know how you're gonna do it, but you're gonna pick somebody to get some wines.
Ooh, people, you should be listening. Don't go anywhere because you want to get the wines. So the red blend, because I was checking it out myself.
Yes.
Is it Merlot heavy or
yes? So
Cab heavy?
It's Merlot, it's Syrah, it's a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay.
I think it's not super dry. It's very smooth. I call red wine adult wine. That's what I call red wine. Because I started with red wine in the sense of I'm a sweet drinker. That's what I started off with. And so when I really started to learn and lean into sweet and dry red wines, I was like, "Ugh, I'm never gonna like red wine. That's not my thing." And then somehow I end up falling in love with this blend. And I think it's because it's not a super dry um red blend. I love the fact of the Syrah, and I love how smooth the Merlot makes it.
Mm-hmm.
It's my in the house wine. I don't drink this one and like go out, because this one it's definitely a stronger red blend to me.
It's grown and
Uh,
sexy.
yeah, this is grown and sexy. That's what I would say. This the grown and sexy red blend. Um, but yeah, right. The red drinkers love this. It's absolutely their favorite. I would say a lot of men buy the red blend, because
Okay.
we can see, and we study the demographics on, who buy, who purchases what. The red blend is definitely the male's favorite. So if you're ever looking for like that perfect gift for your brother, your father, your husband, boyfriend, whatever, I would definitely recommend our vintage 2017 red blend.
Is it okay? One more question about the red
Sure.
blend. Is it aged in oak, French oak?
So it's aged in barrels in our it's not in a French oak barrel, no. It's not.
Okay. Okay.
Um what else would I say about my red blend? It's rustic, that's what I would say.
Okay.
It gives a very I'm not going to say it doesn't, it's not, you can't taste like oak from it, but it definitely gives you a hint of like that that the not gonna say dryness, but it's gonna give you a hint of like you can taste like the like dried cherry in a sense, like it's like
Okay. Okay. So
it's
like the cook fruit, more
yeah,
like cherry
that's
pie
exactly what it does. It gives you
of
a
that nature. Not really
mhm.
super bright fruit, but
No,
you do get those some age worthy
at the I think
berries and
that's
notes.
what you're gonna get at the end, but that's what
Okay.
makes it such a smooth red wine versus you know how that a merlot can be dry at the end. I think that
Mm-hmm.
for me, that's what makes it that's what makes it the perfect red wine. And then for me, I always pair it with lamb. I even cook with it
Mm,
sometimes too. So
okay.
whether if I'm drinking with it, or I might add it to, something, if you're cooking something. And I have had chefs to actually cook with our, to use some of our red blend, our red fusion too. So 100% my favorite meal with that. My favorite meal with this is going to be our lamb. It's going to be, I love asparagus, and then like some,
Really?
mhm,
Okay.
and then I
Okay.
love some like herb, like red potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that sounds. Ooh, I'm glad I ate earlier. Now,
And
is that one the Moscato?
this is our Moscato. This is our girl. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
anybody ever watches our social media. This Moscato has a lot of attitude to give. It's not your typical Moscato. Sounds crazy, but this Moscato, when you start learning about one, Ebony Wine is the wine that you get to learn about wine with. I think coming into wine, I felt like, especially from minority perspective, not a lot of people, it felt like you needed to know everything about wine when you're a
Mm-hmm.
minority and getting into wine, versus being welcomed into wine and learning as you grow with wine. I
Right.
believe Ebony Wine and Spirits is the wine that you grow with. um this wine particularly, I wanted to create one. I love when we do tastings or when we're at festivals and people say, oh no, I don't like Moscato, it's super sweet, I don't like sweet wine. And I'm like, just hold on, because you have different Moscatos, you have different grapes, you have different spectrums of Moscato. You have super sweet, and then you have not sweet at all. So what you're gonna get here, this Moscato is very close to a Sauvignon Blanc, and it's not super sweet. It's definitely not dry. It's floral. It gives you hints of honeysuckle. It's, when I say this is a good Moscato, listen, this Moscato gives you all types of attitude, and it'll break the stigma of what you think Moscato is supposed to, or what you were told or taste that Moscato only was.
Well,
So
I noticed when I was looking at your wines, I noticed that the Moscato is 14% alcohol, and you don't, and which is a really high alcohol content for well, it's high in general,
yeah,
but
we
it's
like that.
extremely high for Moscato because you usually don't find it in that range. So, do they is and the color is super deceiving. Like this is a super diva Moscato because by looking at it, I would think it is a sweeter wine by the color. But is it aged at all in
So
oak
yeah,
barrel?
it definitely is. It's a 2019 Moscato.
Okay.
So this this Moscato, so what we did with this Moscato, and at the time working with the vineyard, they taught me what really happened, where they sat me down and I had a lot of different Moscato. I got the joys of creating wine. It's so fun. Like it's absolutely
Mm-hmm.
fun because what you're gonna do, they blend different grapes, right? And you get to taste, you get to smell, they tell you like, hey, this is what we can create for you. If you wanted to taste like this, we can create something, that we can age and it can taste, very similar to this. Or we have, a particular grape that we've already aged that we can already, create and add just a little hint of something else and make it unique for you. So I knew what I wanted to do with the Moscato, but I was nervous
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know how people would respond to the Moscato. So in the wine industry, you can think your wine is absolutely amazing, right? You can think it's really, the best wine in the world. But if the consumer doesn't say it's the best wine in the world, then, what do you do then? So, but when it comes to the Moscato, I call it the diva of the group, because all of our wines have personality. All of them have life. It's like the four
Mm-hmm.
tops. And and the Moscato is definitely the standout girl. She makes herself like the it girl of the group, but she's absolutely amazing. I would pair the Moscato easily with like a salmon salad, like with something
Mm.
very, very light. Not just because it's a Moscato, not because it's a white wine, but when you eat, like if you do eat meat, if you do a light meat, then it's going to bring out the flavors. It's going to bring out the notes, and
Okay.
it's very smooth, but it's not a weak Moscato. Like she said, the percent it's not a weak Moscato. So if you
Yeah, don't you're not going to get what is that? What's the Moscato that's in the Relax? Relax
oh
is a popular Moscato,
uh-huh
and I think they're like 9 or 8% alcohol, what have you. No, 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 no.
no,
This Moscato, without even trying it, I know it's going to kick that little Moscato's butt all the way to the wine
get your
store.
dancing shoes on with her.
Mm-hmm.
Get your dancing shoes on. We're in the house with him, we're outside with her.
This it's very interesting too because in some circles Moscato could be a dirty word in the wine world because when you walk into a tasting room or what have you and they see Black people, that's the first thing that they're going to say, oh, we don't have anything sweet, we don't have Moscato. So the fact that you're making one and it's not your atypical Moscato is extremely interesting and daring.
And that's why I did it, because of that stigma that people have given Moscato. In the sense, a lot of us tend to run away from the Moscato. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
at so many different festivals, and people say, almost like ill, like I don't drink that. Wine
Right.
snobs will say like I don't drink that. I don't do super sweet wine. It's not my
Mm-hmm.
style. Like whatever, whatever. And I'm just like, I literally have to bribe them. I'm just like, taste it. That's all I want you to do.
Right.
Just
Right.
taste it. And as soon as they taste it, they're like, oh my God, what kind of Moscato is this? and they're grabbing the bottle, they're looking at it, they're like, oh my God, this is, and I'm just like, we did our job, because that's what I want. Like,
Mhm.
you can't treat Moscato like this. All Moscatos are not created equal, and I'm
This
going
is
to
true.
stick beside her.
This is very true. This is very true.
I don't have the
So,
bottle, but we do
mhm.
have the Ebony Rosé, and then we have
Okay.
the Kinshasa, which we call the Taste of the Sun. You're gonna get with the Kinshasa. I love to surprise people. I will give you a hint. The Kinshasa is definitely gonna be. It's our number one seller. It's the number one seller for a reason. Um, and that's not just in this country. I would say that because we do have, as of May, we have global distribution, and so we've launched in London, and we've also launched in Sierra Leone, and yes, so Moscato, I mean the Kinshasa sells out every event, every festival. The only note that I'm going to give you for the Moscato, because I want you to get it, I want you to taste it, and I want you to fall in love, which I know you will, is going to be peach. That's what I would say.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, that's all I'm gonna say. It's definitely not the only note by any means. And I'll give you a baby hint and backstory on the Kinshasa. So Kinshasa, we call it the Taste of the Sun. I'm Congolese. My last name is Masunda. My
Mhm.
family's from Congo. And Kinshasa is the capital, and it's this most gorgeous and beautiful place. You're gonna get nightlife, very like New York, and dancing. You're gonna get beaches. You're gonna get in Congo. You're gonna get rainforest like the Amazon. You're gonna get so many
Mm,
things in this, even volcanoes. Like, you're gonna get so many things in this wonderful place. But that's just the continent of Africa in general. Like,
exactly. Mhm.
it's absolutely amazing. But it's a ode. I created Kinshasa as an ode and a thank you to culture and bloodline and history, for people to have fun learning how to say it, Kinshasa. And that's always fun, but to
Kinshasa.
also research it and
Mhm.
see, maybe you plan your next trip there and visit, and learn the history of just Congo, and why this beautiful place is so rich. Literally, what people don't understand about Congo, if you watched Black Panther and you learned about cobalt, everything in your phone and why your phones work, is because of the mines, in Congo.
Wow.
Whether it be diamonds, whether it be cobalt, it is literally a super super high rich mineral place that all over the world they flock and fight over to get this land, because of how rich it is, in natural resources.
Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to wine, you have just gotten a history lesson. I hope you were paying attention. And a geography lesson.
But that's
Yes.
Ebony. That's
Mhm.
Ebony Wine. That's why, when people, when we were talking earlier, when people wonder about who and why, why we talk about culture so much and history within our wine, is because the wine is literally a guide to you discovering history and culture, and really understanding the beautiful diversity of which melanated people around the
Mhm.
world. And
Mhm.
that's in and really understanding, what motivated me is to understand, if you go to Belize, they look like you. If you go to
Right.
Honduras, they look like you. If you go to It's people in China, it's people in Paris, people look like you in every language all over the world. And that is why we celebrate Ebony and the pure essence of your melanin and who you are, and the culture of us in our wine.
Well, I don't have anything to say after that. I don't have any questions. Those who are still following along with us, if you have any comments or questions, please put them in the chat. I'm going to turn it over to you. So if you would like to do the giveaway, or how people can,
Yeah,
definitely
so you
one,
pick
how people can
something.
follow you,
Oh,
and
maybe we can do a number.
okay.
Okay. Pick a number 1 to 24.
Okay, so those who are
And we're gonna do two bottles. So 1 to 24. Let's do the first one. And then I'm going to ask you a question for the second one.
Okay. So please put in a number from 1 to 24 in the chat.
If you want to win some wine.
We have 16.
That's the only number. That's the only person who voted?
We have 16.
Well, going once, going twice. It was 22, but you're the only one who voted, so you won.
Congratulations. It is Alicia Smith. So you are the winner.
Okay, Ms. Smith, all you need to do is, so all they need to do is contact you. Go to ebonywineandspirits.com, pick which bottle they want, and then you just get the give their information to you, and we'll get it shipped out to them.
Perfect.
Okay. Alicia Smith is the winner. Okay, and so my question. I got a good question.
I want to tell you,
Go ahead.
Alicia is a member of Black Girls Wine Society.
Oh, hi, girl. Hey, Alicia.
So I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
My next question is gonna be a good question, but I only think you're gonna get it if you was watching the whole thing. Okay. So what college did I say I went to? You can be two. You got two options because I went to two.
Okay, so I know, but what college? There were two options that Camilla went to.
Alicia, if you're the only one who votes, you get it again.
Put them in the chat. So I'm gonna give them a minute to do that, and let's see what happens. So in addition to the wines, because you are wine and spirit, I saw that there is a vodka on the horizon.
It is a vodka on the horizon. We have been working so hard, because spirits is another ball game. The distillery is another ball game. And literally you have so much, because I literally have been over there and at a distillery that I worked with in North Carolina. I learned about distilling, crafting, making, but it's been amazing, honestly. The only problem is when they're mixing and I'm helping mix and we're tasting, it's vodka. So it's not wine. You can taste wine all day. Vodka, you're like, all right. But it's been so fun. Hopefully you can have me back on the show.
Yes.
And you can be a part of our I think when we do the launch, I'm going to do like an in-person launch, but I'm going to do an online launch. And what my ultimate goal is maybe to do a live with some of the different platforms, like people like you on the same platform, and like ship everybody out a bottle so we can launch together, have like an online launch party.
That would be good. We will be there. And vodka is my drink.
Yes. Oh, this is going to be your jam. Do you understand?
This is my drink of choice. Like, some days when we do industry wine tastings. Mm-hmm. So you know how like there's like a lot of wine at these industry wine tastings. Uh-huh. And to get my palate right afterwards, I will either have tequila or vodka. Because it's just too much wine. It just needs to be rebalanced, recalibrated, and that's what I will have.
No, 100%. And a fun fact is this wine was also created to also make a really amazing mixed drink with some of our wines. So I am super, super duper excited for it to hit the market. It's already done. Just some final license. Everything's good. We just got some final tweaks that we're doing. We're looking. I was supposed to launch in spring, but I'm glad that I didn't rush anything. So we're definitely fall. It's going to launch in the fall, and I'm very okay with that.
Yeah,
that's learning. In the industry, you learning how to take your time. Yes. That's my thing, and I'm learning how to enjoy. The wine industry, enjoy crafting, enjoy what I'm doing, but also taking my time, not looking to the left or looking to the right, what anybody else is doing, just loving my growth every day, loving the research that I get to do, and loving on the people who love on us with Ebony Wine.
That's nice. Did
Anybody vote?
Yes, and the answers are wrong. So
Tell me the answers, though. Tell me the answers.
They mentioned your daughter's school, North Carolina A&T.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yes.
Well, oh.
Yeah, so
they
she
did
went to
listen.
Bennett. She went to Bennett. We were talking about how she's a Bennett Belle. And she also went to Johnson C. Wells. So
yes.
Wonk wonk.
Womp womp. Well, I guess you get the win. We'll send you your bottle of your choice because you're the only one who paid attention. Tell them thank them though.
Thank you. Thanks for playing it. This has been so much fun.
It has.
Much fun. And they can follow you on Instagram.
Yes, and we follow back.
Yes.
We follow back. We're always doing random giveaways. We talk to people. We laugh with you guys. We make reels for you to laugh with us. We have a good time. This is not just your stick up wine. This is us. And we have, listen, everything about us is fun. We make life fun. We love to talk and joke about anything. And that's us. So you're always going to see us trying to make you laugh and just celebrating you. So just come on over to the Ebony Wine platforms so we can love on you some more.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you for
what?
You don't sell in Maryland or DC, do you?
No, we ship to Maryland and DC.
No, but do you have a distributor in Maryland?
I don't have no, I do not.
Okay, so we'll talk offline.
Yes.
We will talk offline. Alicia, please email me and let me know.
Alicia, get your wine, girl.
Yeah, that you would like to try, so you can get your wine, and we will forward your address for you. Thank you guys so much for Wine Lovers Wednesday, for being here with us. Thank you, Camilla and Ebony Wines. I have to say, I love the labels. It's very reminiscent of
that is designed by girl. The college student did that. The college student helped me design it. Listen, she's something else. Even though she's an engineer major, she's a computer science major. I don't know how I got this baby over here creating content and designing labels.
Like, let me tell you, when I first saw it, I was like, "This is like Ebony magazine. This is reminiscent." Read that magazine. So she is doing the thing. But we thank you. We thank you so much. And we will see everyone next week on Wine Lovers Wednesday. Take care.
Thank you. Bye, guys.